Hi, BookTube, it's Amy, and I'm back reading from the Anatomy of Bibliomania by Holbrook Jackson. Today we're going to finish off the section here on libraries with a short section beginning on page 349 of my edition titled Libraries, the Image of Oneself. Emerson, Comte, Sir John Lubbock, Frederick Harrison, and others, read their long essays on this subject, have sought to act as guides through the labyrinths of books, to blaze a trail through the forests of literature by teaching us how to select, for there is always a selection in writers, and then a selection from the selection. They have framed catalogues of the best books and set out to epitomize the genius of all the world, for some hold that every clime, every country, and more than that, every voracious writer has proper remedies for the eradication of ignorance and the opening of the doors of the temples of wisdom. But, as the high priest of the 100 best books well knew, it is one thing to own a library, another to use it wisely. Of this noble subject, how many panegyrics are worthily written. Yet, with all their framing of catalogues and proportioning of literature, a man in the last resort must choose his own books. His library must be the expression of himself, rather than he of it. For a book, or any number of books, can do no more than bring out what is in him, richer, perchance, by this aid than it would have been. This studious art decoys us from the pursuit of things of whose obtaining we despair, by bringing us home to ourselves, for we carry with us the wonders we seek without us. There is all Africa and her prodigies in us. We are that bold and adventurous piece of nature which he that studies wisely learns in a compendium what others labor at in a divided piece and endless volumes. Quoting there from Sir Thomas Browne, Religio Medici. And just as the mind, as some suppose, harmonically composed, is roused up at the tones of music, so do books rouse up our slumbering souls, personalities, distinctions, making us, at best, what we truly are, but without them might not be. No guide save oneself to so great a mystery. A library is like life, and I say of books as Thoreau of living, we must gnaw our own bone. For the best, as Ghost advises, it takes a lifetime to form a library, his own even remaining pitifully unfinished after more than half a century of collecting. But, he asks, is not life unfinished too? Anisez font, les petites marionnettes, anisez font, trois petits tours et puis s'en vont. Some lines in French there. And I'm thinking maybe that T was meant to be silent. Maybe it was meant to be anisez font. But anyway, our English translation is the marionettes in one box and the books in the other, where a new set starts a new dance. In this business of the choice of books, I am with the Earl of Balfour, when he confesses that at times he is tempted somewhat to vary the prayer of the poet, and ask whether heaven has not reserved in pity to this much educating generation some peaceful desert of literature as yet unclaimed by the crammer or the coach, where it might be possible for the student to wander, even perhaps to stray at his own pleasure, without finding every beauty labelled, every difficulty engineered, every nook surveyed, and a professional Circone standing at every corner to guide each succeeding traveller along the same well-worn round. Our footnote pointing us to essays and addresses. I will not quarrel with those who think otherwise. They can do no harm, and catalogues of what one ought to read are an entertainment and a warning. Every reader worth his salt will choose his own 100 best books. A library, whether small or large, is a sea, which we must chart for ourselves and explore for ourselves, our own intelligence for compass, and with a fair wind behind us, a full steam ahead, we need not fear to reach the islands of the blessed. That brings us to the end of that part of the book on libraries. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. The 100 best books must be chosen for oneself, and we must forge our own libraries. But we're moving on here to the next part, borrowers, biblioclips, and bestowers. They're on page 351 in our next reading. But we'll leave it there for today.